In Part 8 of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Jojolion, Soft and Wet's original ability was absolutely insane. In the early parts of Jojolion, it seemed like Josuke had a pretty well-defined ability in Plunder. There were multiple times in early Jojolion where Josuke did something absolutely insane. In the first chapter, he took away Joshu's eyesight. The first chapter. And then later on, he gets rid of friction, sliding faster on the ground because he got rid of the concept of friction away from the ground. It really seemed like these early parts of Jojolion were really hyping up Josuke to have one of the most interesting, useful, and versatile stands of all time. Broken in a way that wasn't just time or space manipulation, but through its practical uses in the real world and how it could be used in fights throughout the part. And what does Araki do with it? Well, he never does that ever again. Our 51-year-old Hirohiko Araki realized that he may have cooked a bit too hard with this ability, and so Araki slowly got rid of this theoretical part of the stand ability. So what does Soft and Wet do now? Well, we got bubbles, and bubbles, and some more bubbles, and some shovels, but yeah, it's mainly just bubbles. So later on in Jojolion's run, Soft and Wet kind of became more generic. The stand had a high focus on bubbles. What originally just seemed like a fun little gimmick turned into the basis of the whole stand. There were many times where Soft and Wet just decided to shoot out a bunch of bubbles and then did something, like maybe move one object from one area to another, or protect himself with a giant bubble, stuff like that. Or hey, sometimes it really felt like Josuke ignored the bubbles and just decided to scrap on his own. Gotta respect him for that one. But yeah, you could see this new and revised version of Soft and Wet. The stand ability was more focused on the physical aspects of objects, while the previous Soft and Wet was more about moving concepts. We used to have the removal of the concept of fiction, but New Age Soft and Wet shifts actual physical properties. Soft and Wet removes the fire from an object, rather than say, remove the heat or the burning caused by the fire. Now begs the real question. Why did Araki do this in the first place? Did Araki forget about the original power? Well, I don't really think that he did. Honestly, I do think that this was just a natural evolution of the Soft and Wet ability. In my opinion, what Soft and Wet ended up becoming was probably always the original intention of the stand. You got bubbles, and they like to do funny bubble things. I think removing entire concepts was just a flashy little entrance to the stand that Araki gave up on, and was never supposed to be hard-coded to be that way. Take Giorno, for example, who had the ability to punch and give the enemy so much energy that they stay in place, and only have the mental ideas of moving. Something like that doesn't really appear for the rest of Golden Wind, though it could be implied to be something that's going on in the background, but just something that, Araki never had to focus on himself because he already did that at the start. I think the same thing is happening with Soft and Wet. The removal of these concepts could just be something that kind of works as a background boilerplate of sorts to the actual stuff that Araki wanted to do with the concept of bubbles. Like, getting rid of the hair on your face to make a humorous scene, or no, not the shovel thing, or taking things and moving them somewhere else. While there is a point to be made about Soft and Wet's ability changing out of nowhere, I don't think that this was something that Araki forgot per se, but was more of a flashy entrance to the stand known as Soft and Wet.